Hi, in this Affinity Designer tutorial, we're going to look at a different way to make patterns in Designer. So previously, I demonstrated using a symbol to create a preview canvas right next to your tile canvas. I'll leave a link in the description for that. And this is going to be using a clip to canvas feature to get our tile. And we are going to unclip to canvas in order to see a preview. So this is a little bit different, and I would say arguably maybe not as simple as the symbol method. But I think it's worthwhile to know different ways of doing things because sometimes circumstances will call for different techniques. So it's good to know more than one way to achieve the same outcome. So let's start by creating a new file. And I'm going to make what I'm calling a tossed polka dot here. So it's essentially a polka dot pattern, but it's not symmetrical like the last video that I made. So File, New. Now for this method, I'm still going to use a 1000 pixel artboard, but I don't want it to be an artboard. So we're just going to go to this and unclick this. Don't need any margins or anything on this, so we'll just create our surface here. And we're going to go over here to View, View Mode, and Clip to Canvas is off currently because it doesn't have a little check mark on it. So that's fine. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make those little polka dots. So let's go to the ellipse tool and we'll draw out our biggest polka dot. And I want to put a fill on it. We'll make this one kind of red-ish. And then to just give it a little bit of a more hand-drawn effect, I'm going to also use that same color for the stroke. We'll give it a little bit more stroke, but I'm going to open the brushes window and we're going to go to the brushes, select this, and I've got the inks here. Let's just do ink on cotton paper. And so that turned the stroke into a brush stroke. And I just want to demonstrate then that if I take this fill and change the fill, I've got to select it, change the fill, you can see that we've got a brush stroke outline and the fill is a different color, but I want it to match so that it looks like this is a hand-drawn polka dot with a little bit of bleeding ink. So let's make some copies. So I'm going to copy and paste, paste, paste. I think I just did that 5 times. Yeah, so now we got 5 dots. And let's just open our layers so that we can see them. So let's select all of them, copy and paste the whole works, and then that copied version, let's change the color of that, and we'll do kind of like a, let's do like a teal. And then we want to make sure that our stroke matches that. And then while they're all selected, I'm just going to grab one of the corners here, and these will be our medium dots. And then while they're all selected, let's copy and paste all those, move those out of the way, and we'll make these kind of a yellow. I want like a kind of a pastel yellow. Something like that. We'll go to the fill, make that yellow as well. And we'll scooch these down so that these are our smallest dots. And we'll move this out of the way. Select all these, get them off to the side as well. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to start, I want to be zoomed out a little bit so that I can kind of get an overall view of what this looks like. And let me just double check what I did here because it actually turned out quite well. Now that the camera's on, the pressure's on to do a good job. So I want to try and replicate this a little bit. Something like this. And then I had one move over here. And just try something, see what it looks like, and you can always adjust it. So I want some to be in the square and I want some hanging off the edge. So this one that's hanging off the edge, I'm going to copy and paste it. And now I need my transform panel because that pasted one is what is now selected. I copied and I pasted, Command C and Command V. And I want to move this up. And I want to move it up the exact same amount as my canvas size, which was 1,000 pixels. So this is the Y direction. I'm going to put my cursor behind the pixel word px, and I want to go up, so I'm going to minus 1,000, enter, and that will move it up. Now let's select this one that's sitting off the side, copy and paste, and then that pasted one is what is currently selected. And so I want to go in the X direction, get my cursor behind everything that's already there, and this time to go to the right, I'm going to add 1,000 pixels. And so that positioned it like that. So now that my ones that are hanging over the edge, over the seam, are in position, now I can kind of make some adjustments here to just make sure that I like the way that looks. Let's go with something like that. All right, so now let's start putting the blue dots into the spaces. And again, we're going to want to hang some over the edge. And I think we'll want this just a hair over the edge here. I'm kind of looking at what the space is up here when I'm determining that. And also looking at what kind of space I want to fill here. I'm less concerned about the ones that are strictly on the canvas. So now let's do the same thing. I'll grab this one, copy and paste it. So now to go to the left, I need to minus 1,000. So let's go in the X direction, minus 1,000. We'll select this one, copy and paste, and I want to go up again. So again, we're going to go in the Y direction and minus 1,000. And now we can kind of take a look at that. I think this red dot needs to go over just a bit. And then let's just start putting the yellow dots in. I can already tell this isn't going to turn out as good as my demo. Oh well. So I think we need another dot to fill in this space. And we need something up here too. So let's move there. Anything that's within the canvas you can move around. Now you can have some of these hanging off the edge, but we also don't need to. But let's put one there. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to zoom out a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all these dots and group them. So Command or Control G. We'll copy and paste. And I want to take this whole group and move it up 1,000. So Y direction, minus 1,000 to move it up. And then let's go to the layers. Let's pick that group again, the one in the center, copy and paste. And this time in the Y direction, get the cursor behind here, and we're going to add 1,000. And so now we can grab all three of these, copy and paste, and let's move them to the right 1,000. So plus 1,000. And then let's take all three of these again, copy and paste, and X, we want to move it to the left, so minus 1,000. All right, so actually didn't turn out too bad. So this is what gives us our preview now. And so we can make any sort of adjustments we want. Now, the only thing is you need to be very careful about not adjusting the ones that are along the seam. And we need to expand this original group in order to make any movements here. Once you click on one, you'll be able to click on any other ones, but I think we're actually not too bad the way we are. The thing I'm noticing is that we don't have enough down here. So let's grab this. And that should take care of that space here. So I think I will move this a little bit, about a little bit. And we'll move the red one a little. If you're having trouble with it trying to snap, turn off snapping here, and then you'll be able to move it really anywhere you want. Okay, so let's go ahead and clip this to canvas, and now you'll see what our tile looks like. So let's just give it one more test by exporting it, and we want to export it as a JPEG. And we'll call it test tossed. And now we will create a new file. Doesn't matter what size it is. We'll put a shape here, go to the gradient fill tool, context fill, type bitmap. We'll find that and open it. And then we can test it out. So I am seeing a bit of a blank spot here, so I still would want to mess with this a little bit. And these two dots, I don't like how they kind of line up too close to each other. So you can go back and make some adjustments to that, but let's actually open up my original one. Let's see how that one turned out. We'll give that a different name too. And we'll just go back to bitmap again and look for that second one. Yeah, I definitely think my test one turned out better. So anyways, that is a different way that you can work with patterns using clip to canvas. And so when you unclip it, you can see your whole pattern. When you clip it, you'll be able to just export your tile that you can use to then fill any object and have a seamless pattern from that. So I hope that you found that useful and learned some new techniques along the way. Thanks for watching.